News at 5:30 starts right now.
First at 5:30, one inmate dead, another now adding murder to the list of charges he's facing. Our John Paul Barajas is at the Bexar County Sheriff's Office tonight with what we know about that altercation that led to the jail cell killing.
What we know is that a fight broke out between two inmates because one allegedly threatened to assault the other. The threatened inmate then ended up strangling and killing that man. The inmate who was claiming self-defense is 52-year-old Mark Wong. Wong was just recently taken into custody on Friday for shooting a man who was staying at his home multiple times in the stomach and shoulder area. Wong did call the cops and let them know of the shooting and was waiting for police on his front porch. The shooting victim was taken to BAMC and is in critical condition at last check. Wong is now facing murder charges on top of his charges for assault with a deadly weapon, with his bonds totaling over $1.1 million. John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you. This is the second case where an inmate is accused of killing another inmate in the Bexar County Jail in recent years. The last time this happened was back in May 2019. Sheriff Javier Salazar said in that case, an inmate was charged with murder in connection with an assault and killing of another inmate while in their jail cell. Sheriff Salazar said Shandrick Van Anthony Buckley killed Alexander Wise. Buckley was then charged with capital murder. Now to some developing news from overnight. San Antonio police looking for the suspect involved in a shooting at a Taco Bell located on the city's west side. Police say a man was shot while ordering food in the drive-thru. Jonathan Cotto now with the details.
Not the usual and expected scene for employees at this late-night fast food restaurant. Instead, evidence from a shooting at the drive-thru. Police say a man was ordering food at the drive-thru of this Taco Bell on the 11,000 block of Petrenko near 1604 just after 12:30 Sunday morning. They say witnesses on scene saw a dark-colored vehicle pull up beside the victim's car, overheard an exchange of words, then gunfire. The victim, a 57-year-old man, bullets striking him in the torso and the shoulder. Investigators on scene say the victim was having trouble breathing as they asked questions regarding the person who shot him. EMS treated the man on scene and took him to University Hospital.
Detectives were able to interview witnesses on the scene, but say the most important information could come from the store's video surveillance camera. They're hoping that video could help them catch the person who shot the victim. Of course, this case continues to be under investigation. We'll update you as more information is made available. Reporting Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Turning now to stories making headlines around Texas today. A search is underway in Houston for the two people involved in the shooting and killing of an off-duty New Orleans police officer and injuring another person. That shooting happened yesterday just after 5 p.m. at the Grotto Ristorante in the Galleria. Houston police say a group of people were sitting outside the restaurant having dinner when two suspects approached them armed with guns. Today, New Orleans Police Chief Sean Ferguson held a news conference announcing the death of 13-year veteran Everett Briscoe and what he called senseless violence.
Having to inform a wife and two sons that the husband and father was not returning home because of senseless violence while off duty is even more difficult.
Houston police are asking people to be on the lookout for the car the suspects were driving. It is described as a gray or silver Altima four-door vehicle with paper plates. The Guadalupe County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help locating a missing 64-year-old man. Eddie Ray Hank was last seen around 10:30 in the morning on Friday in the 6,000 block of Knockinut Road in Seguin. Hank is 5'5", weighs around 160 pounds with short brown and gray hair. He was last seen wearing a long-sleeve blue jean top, blue jean pants and boots. Deputies believe it's possible Hank was picked up by someone on the side of the road. Anyone with information in this case can call the Guadalupe County Sheriff's Office. Their number, 830-379-1224. Despite the surge in positive COVID-19 cases across the region, Workforce Solutions Alamo released some encouraging new data today. In their 2021 jobs report, they say the July unemployment rate for 13 counties in the San Antonio and New Braunfels metro area is lower than the state's rate of around 6%. That is down from just under 7% last month. Nationally, the unemployment rate has dipped from just below 5% in July. You can take a look at that complete report from Workforce Solutions. It's available right now on KSAT.com. Let's get you now to the latest in Afghanistan as the chaos continues outside the Kabul airport as American citizens and thousands of Afghans try to flee the Taliban. The president addressing the nation this afternoon as Pentagon orders several U.S. airlines to help move evacuees from temporary sites outside of Afghanistan. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has the latest.
As the chaos continues to unfold outside the Kabul airport, President Biden once again addressing the nation.
The evacuation of thousands of people from Kabul is going to be hard and painful, no matter when it started, when we began. There is no way to evacuate this many people without pain and loss of heartbreaking images you see on television.
Tens of thousands desperate to leave. The embassy advising U.S. citizens still in Afghanistan to avoid the airport altogether and seek shelter unless they have individual instructions from a U.S. government representative.
We're going to look at every way, every means possible to get American citizens, third country nationals, special immigrant visa applicants into the airfield.
The United States now has agreements with 26 countries on 4 continents to accept evacuees, according to National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan.
In the last 24 hours, the United States alone flew out 3,900 people on military aircraft, and our partners with flights we facilitated flew out 3,900 people, for a total of more than 7,500 people.
The Pentagon activating its seldom-used Civil Reserve Air Fleet program, compelling commercial airlines to provide aircraft for the evacuations.
We need more planes in the mix to do that piece of it, to move them from these initial points of landing on to the places that they'll ultimately resettle.
Several major U.S. airlines announcing Sunday they've already partnered with the Department of Defense. Military veterans also stepping in to help. Lieutenant Colonel Scott Mann is part of Task Force Pineapple, a group of veterans using their connections on the ground to help allies get to safety.
You know, I'm sitting here right now because of some actions that some Afghan friends of mine took years ago on my behalf, and I'm still here as a result of it. And now it's our turn.
Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
Still ahead on the news at 5:30, over 40 million people are under flash flood watches tonight across the Northeast as Henri continues on its path. The latest on the storm's impact coming up right after this break. Let's get you to the latest now on Tropical Storm Henri barreling through the Northeast right now, bringing high winds and heavy rain to the region. Thousands are without power tonight. Many of those affected are in Rhode Island, where the storm made landfall earlier this afternoon. The storm touched down in West Rhode Island, making it the first storm to hit New England since 2006. In neighboring Connecticut, nearly 250 nursing home residents were evacuated and had to be moved to other facilities.
We've gone from a hurricane to tropical storm, but don't get complacent. Because the terrain is so wet, you do have just a 40, 50 knot gust, knocks over trees, and that's why we're watching the power outage situation so carefully.
President Joe Biden has said he will approve state of emergency declarations in New York, Connecticut, and Rhode Island.
Back here at home, a very, very different scene as we look outside with live cam. A few puffy fair weather clouds and another hot day as we wrap up the weekend, waiting for our official high temperature, but it'll be back in the upper 90s just like the past several days. Today, the aquifer is down 0.2 of a foot to 661.6, and in your pollen count, still looking good here. Molds are low with a count of 360. I'll be right back in a few minutes with a look at your work and school week forecast. Stay with us.
Here at home, it is very hot and dry. Not the case up in the Northeast as they are dealing with Henri. Meanwhile, though, another big story that has not gotten a lot of attention, Katie, is the big rain in Tennessee, 17 inches, more than 20 people dead and dozens missing.
It is a horrible tragedy, and this is something that's really just starting to show up on social media today. But this event wrapped up a full 24 hours ago. This all happened on Saturday morning. This was west of Nashville. I'm going to show you the radar loop here, and again, this is not current radar. This is from Saturday morning, beginning at about 12 a.m. And look at this just training of heavy, heavy rain. That red on radar, like we always tell you, is torrential rain. And this just sat over some of the same areas, particularly between Waverly, which is in Humphreys County, and Dixon there. So again, this is west of Nashville, but training thunderstorms producing torrential rain for hours and hours and hours and did result in more than 20 deaths. And there are people still missing right now. Here are some of the radar estimated rainfall totals. Just astounding. This center color here, that dark gray, technically that's not even on the rainfall legend. And these are radar estimated totals, but in Humphreys County, near Waverly, that's where Waverly is, that's where there was a confirmed measurement of more than 17 inches of rain in less than a 24-hour period. That's not sustainable, or that can't happen anywhere without there being destruction. So why am I bringing this up? Well, I hope you'll hear more about this in the coming days, because this is not normal. This is not normal at all. And we're going to start to see more intense rain events like this in the coming years. Now, we won't have these events every day. We may not even have another one like this every year. And here's the data to prove it. With our warming globe, our warming climate, we're expected to see more heavy precipitation events, heaviest meaning the top 1% of rain events, so the most extreme rain events that we see across the country. The number of these types of events is going to increase. In fact, from 1958 to 2016, that's what this data is showing here. In Tennessee, they saw a 27% increase in these top 1% of rain events. Here in Texas, we saw a 12% increase in those top 1% of rain events. So this was not just another one-off flood for the folks there west of Nashville. And I just wanted to bring that up, spend a few moments on it. It's just incredibly devastating, and I do hope it'll get more coverage here in the next few days. 96 is our temperature at the airport. Again, still waiting on our official high. Should be up around 98. So we'll see if we can touch 100 here in the next few days, but it feels like 100. That's our heat index, the number in yellow. Feeling like 101 in Pleasanton, 104 in Gonzales. No rain for us here across south central Texas. Really not even a whole lot of cloud cover, but I did want to zoom in here really quickly. Southeast of Nixon, there is our lone little shower trying its hardest to get going this afternoon. I don't think it has a lot of legs left on it, and will be rain free for the rest of the day. Take a look at Texas. This is actually a really cool picture. You can see some rain in New Mexico, up into portions of Oklahoma, dropping down through Missouri and Louisiana. This is all rotating around the Lone Star State. Kind of cool here. Here in the mid and upper level winds, we've got a ridge of high pressure that is centered kind of right over northeast Texas this afternoon. This is going to be our companion for the next several days, and you know what this big blue H means: hot and rain free, and that will be the case through the middle of the week. Now, as we get beyond Wednesday into the back half of this work and school week, that ridge of high pressure will retreat off to the north. That's when we'll start to see some low end rain chances kick back in, but that's going to really not begin until Thursday, Friday, and the start of next weekend. So this evening, warm out there, but a light breeze, winds about 5 to 15 miles per hour. That breeze has been our friend the past couple of days, and it'll be around this evening and again tomorrow. High temperature tomorrow looking at 99. Wouldn't be surprised if we hit 100 here in the next few days before those low end rain chances sneak back in back half of this work and school week. Tim?
Thank you, Katie. All right, Larry, Dallas remains without a win in the preseason. Not that that matters.
Well,
it'd be nice to see them get a win.
It would. I'm sure it helps out the morale in the locker room. But again, it is only the preseason. Now, last night in their preseason loss to the Texans, Cooper Rush was by far the best QB for the Cowboys. And we have two BGC previews today. We're going to stop by Divine and Antonian coming up.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Despite going 0 for 10 on third down attempts, the Houston Texans still beat the Dallas Cowboys 20-14 at AT&T Stadium last night. Texans rookie quarterback Davis Mills went 10 for 16 for 115 yards with no touchdowns and 0 turnovers. Mark Ingram rushed for 24 yards and scored on a 2-yard touchdown run in the first quarter for the first points of the game. Now, the big blow was delivered by cornerback Lonnie Johnson Jr. Third quarter, Cowboys QB Ben DiNucci throws a bad pass. Lonnie Johnson Jr. grabs it and takes it back 54 yards, tying this game at 14-all. One of 3 interceptions for DiNucci. Johnson said he was determined to find the end zone, and that mentality starts in practice.
That's just a mentality. You get a pick in practice, you got to take it back to the end zone. I think it started with Roby, though. Roby came from a Super Bowl team, so he know what it's like being in the Super Bowl. He know what it takes to get to a Super Bowl. So every time he's been here and he got a pick, he took it straight to the end zone every time. So that translates to us. It translates to us, and just go out there, just get the ball, man. Go to the end zone every time.
Dallas turned the ball over 4 times, 3 picks by DiNucci, and a fumble lost by QB Garrett Gilbert. Fifth-year quarterback Cooper Rush was by far the boys' best quarterback last night, going 10 for 12 for 97 yards and 2 touchdown passes, an 8-yarder to Tony Pollard, and a 9-yard TD strike to Cedric Wilson. Coop definitely looks comfortable running the boys' offense.
Yeah, I mean, the more you play, the more reps you get, the more comfortable you get. Those reps are precious, whether in a game, camp, OTAs, whatever they are. The more you get, the better you can become, and so just looking forward to keep getting those.
Cowboys will close out their preseason Sunday, August 29th at home with the Jaguars at noon, and the Texans will wrap up their preseason Saturday night, the 28th at NRG Stadium against the Buccaneers at 7. Rams defensive end Eric Banks blew right through the Raiders' offensive line to sack Nathan Peterman last night. Banks from UTSA had 2 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 QB hit. The Rams tweeted, "Call it a Banks robbery." He signed a free agent deal with the Rams before last season. It is time to check in with the Divine Warhorses as we continue our big game coverage previews as we get you ready for the regular season, which kicks off this week. The Warhorses went 8-3 last season, 4-1 in district, 15-4-2, while advancing to the first round of the playoffs. Head coach Paul Gomez welcomes back 12 starters at 6 guys on each side of the ball. Quarterback Brady Hackbill can carve up a defense with his legs. He rushed for more than 1,200 yards last season, passed for 842 more, and had 21 total touchdowns. Defensive end Jared Fernandez, who had 46 tackles and 8 sacks last season, anchors the defense. Divine will need its seniors to step up and a new offensive line to play big for them to have success.
We got to get some linemen to step up. We lost our three starters, so we got to get some linemen to step up. We got some backs that can handle it. They got a lot of work last year because Contreras was hurt and we had to fill in some guys. But if our line comes up, and, they've been working well. We can do that. We feel positive about what's going to happen.
It's pretty important because we lost the seniors are most of our team last year, so we got to kind of step up because we don't got that many seniors this year.
Yes, sir. From learning from the seniors from the past years, it's a big role that I have to take on and to teach the underclassmen that we have here.
Divine will open the season on the road against Highlands at the SAISD Sports Complex Friday night at 7. Let's stop by Antonian High School now, where the Apaches are hard at work, led by head coach Danny Padron, who's entering his 2nd season with Antonian. The Apaches went 6-2 last season, 4-1 in TAPS D1-2. They fell in the first round of the TAPS playoffs, 47-28 to Fort Worth All Saints. Now, players to watch this season include linebacker Isaiah Trujillo, offensive lineman Ty Short, plus 2-way players Javante Johnson and Gabe Foltz. Those two will get a lot of touches on offense. A strong core of seniors is ready to lead a young but talented team, and Ty Short, he can't wait to play football.
You're going to see an explosive offense for sure. I'm really liking our O-line. The left side especially, my left guard is our starting linebacker. Both second-team All-State last year, and we're going to be explosive. We got Ricky from Brandeis. He's a dog, and he's been explosive. And then we have 2 great quarterbacks who will both have an amazing season this season that I'm sure of.
Take over the leadership role. It feels really important. We've been waiting a long time for this moment. I've been on this varsity team for my entire high school career, and it's great to be a senior and finally be able to take over that leadership role.
As you start a new program, it was important that we set the right tone, but really do the right things, and that's been part of our philosophy is help our players be the best person they can be, and we do that by doing right and doing our best and treating others with respect. So from that standpoint, I thought our kids really welcomed that and adapted to it and excelled in doing it.
Antonian will open the season on the road at Floresville Friday night at 7. And Tim, we have 18 games scheduled to cover Friday night, and we're also working with Texas Sports Productions this year, so we'll be able to stream some of those games on our BGC app.
All the coverage everywhere.
Yes.
Thank you, Larry. We'll be right back.
All right, just checked. Our official high for today is 96, right at average for this time of year. We're going to be in the upper 90s for the next several afternoons. So really just some good August summertime heat for the next few days. By Thursday, we'll bring back in a low chance of some isolated afternoon showers and storms, and that will continue into next weekend. Tim.
All right. Thank you very much, Katie. Thank you for watching. That is all of our time for now. We hope to see you back here tonight at 10 for the night beat. Until then, have a good evening.